Hey guys, Monday, March 30th, around 5 p.m. Got a beautiful day today, about 22 degrees here in Ontario. And after that night investigation I did a few days ago, I've been thinking there's a good possibility that they might be here. Gonna take a quick tour around the lawn houses here. I don't think they're open. They're only open on the weekends to get inside. But yeah, I think there's a good possibility they're here because whatever was crashing in the bushes beside me was heavy and loud. It wasn't like a raccoon breaking a branch or a bird. It was a loud snap, like multiple. And then the coyotes going off. We know they mimic coyotes. And I was thinking that the next day, I was thinking the coyote sounds were coming from my car in the parking lot area. It's what it sounded like to me. And let's just see if this door is open. I doubt it. Oh, turtle. Yeah, it's locked. So yeah, the sounds were coming from the car in the parking lot area. The coyote yips and calls, howls, and I wonder if the Sasquatch were by my car, some of them, and saw, oh, a human's here. There's a car in the parking lot, and they're not used to that, right? So they were making the coyote calls to warn the other Sasquatch and nearby that there's human here, human activity. And they also do distractions, like they'll distract you in one area to let another Sasquatch get away in another area. So that's another possibility. But my point is, I don't think if it was any other animal, animals usually run from humans, even black bears and maybe a mountain lion, but mountain lions you wouldn't even hear crashing. Mountain lions are silent, they're stealthy. So what other animal for 10 minutes would keep coming closer every few minutes? I'd hear, you know, some crunching and crashing every few minutes, getting closer to me. It got up to about 20-30 feet away, but I couldn't see it because it was in the trees. So we're gonna walk down to the lake now. I know they're reconstructing the boardwalk, so I don't know if workers are still here working on it, but I just wanted to kind of check out the area where the crashing was coming from, see if I can find any footprints or tracks or obvious tree breaks where I heard the snapping coming from. So this is what you got to do, guys. If you think you found something, you got to go back and check it out, whether it's something for height comparison or whatever. Stand by a tree and film it. If you captured, you know, a video of something you thought may have been Sasquatch, go back the next day or whenever you can and stand by it, or go back the next day and look for tracks in the area where you thought you heard or saw something. So that's what I'm doing today, because it's supposed to rain the next 5 days. Actually, it's supposed to rain tonight in a couple hours. So I thought today's my only chance to get in to look for tracks before the rain washes it away. Now, like I said, it's down by where it's closed at the boardwalk, so I'm hoping the workers have all gone home that are working on replacing the boardwalk that goes 1 kilometer around the lake. So I'll find out in a couple minutes. But yeah, this is what it looks like in the daytime. I didn't post that video yet that I made of the night investigation because I wanted to include this after the night. I was going to post it, and then the next day I thought about it. I thought I'm going to go back and make a kind of like a part 2, but in the same video. There are a few people here in the parking lot that walked in ahead of me, so if we run into people, I'm gonna just stop talking until they leave. So yeah, like I said in first part of the video, this connects to Rattlesnake Point, another conservation area. I think there's like 19 kilometers of trails here. And this is on top of the escarpment, this lake and this area here. Also, I wanted to come back during the day to see if we can see any tree structures. The ones I posted in part 1 here earlier in the video, I found those last year here, but let's see if there's any new ones. Oh, and also you can see the sculptures here in the daytime. Monarch butterfly. Very cool. Again, these are about 10 feet tall. And these are all the endangered species that are here. There's a wolf. Oh, chipmunk. There's a muddy, very muddy here. So you can see any tracks. I doubt it. Interesting, that one. So that's a gray wolf. It's weird, I didn't think they had wolves in this park. I know they have coy wolves, which are a mix of coyote and wolves. Cool. So we'll explore that trail in a few minutes. This trail goes down to the lake here, so let's check out here first, because this is where the crashing was coming from. Oh, and it's when I heard that sound, it scared me at first. And the night investigation. Here's a bumblebee. Over here to my left, where the creek is, it's funny, because again, I was thinking about it today. I was like, oh, that's where those sounds were coming from, actually, that crashing. And I thought I saw something in the corner of my eye. But I couldn't tell because obviously it was dark, right? And the flashlight didn't pick anything up down the creek. So I'm going to take a look down there too. There's that giant salamander. Jefferson salamander. This is about 8 feet long. Tripped on rock. Oh, cool. There's a snake over there I didn't see before. A snake statue. So yeah, there's no swimming, boating, or fishing at this lake. And like I said, it's fuck, I can't remember what it's called now. A mesomoric lake or something like that. Where the sediment layers at the bottom don't mix with the top due to lack of oxygen or something. So I feel like that would be good drinking water for animals in the Sasquatch. There's people up ahead, so I'm going to put the camera down a little bit. Disrespectful to film other people, I feel like. A lot of people don't like the camera. So I'm just going to put it down here in a second. And that's where I want to look, of course. How's it going? Good. Beautiful day.
I know.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Snapping turtle. Very cool. So yeah, this is where I came a few nights ago, March 25th, to do my night investigation. It was behind this fence here because I wanted to get up close to the lake to get some thermal, but then for some reason my thermal didn't record. Yeah, they got it all fenced off along the boardwalk over there. Up here. This is a huge conservation area, but the lake is actually close to a street. But the street is very forested and stuff, but it's 5 p.m. so it's traffic. People are coming home. You can hear like a motorcycle in the background, but the lake itself is, you know, about a kilometer to the road, but then going the other way connects to Rattlesnake Point. You got like probably 30 kilometers of forest and trails. So yeah, this is, I went inside here, past the fence here, over there. I'm not gonna go now. I think there's still workers working on the boardwalk way up on the other side of the lake. I just heard like a metal sound. So yeah, I can't really do that right now. I can't really go past the fence, but it was over here by this marshy area where I was hearing all the crashing. And I can see now that the boardwalk starts there. Interesting. So something could have came down from over there, outside the forest, and come over in the boardwalk there. Fuck, I can't really go in there to look for prints, just because there's people around, and so you can see the tape here. You're not supposed to go past. I was hoping to find like a pushed over tree or an obvious something obvious out of place. Let's see down here. Oh yeah, they put like a makeshift bunch of pallets, obviously, so the workers can get across there. Interesting. Wonder what the hell that crashing was, man. It was loud. Yeah, because the creek goes there. And that's where I heard the initial, that's where I thought I saw something in the corner of my eye over through that creek that goes along there. Huh. So it could have been, they could have came across the boardwalk there, or the pallets. Or they could have been over here in the creek area where I thought I saw something when I first walked in. Damn. I was hoping there'd be no workers here so I could kind of bushwhack in there and explore a little bit. It's hard to tell. There's so many down trees in there too. I'm just gonna go close to the lake real quick just to give you a closer view behind the fence. Then I'll get out of here. Yeah, here's Lake, beautiful lake. Small, but it's deep. It's like 75 feet in the middle. The scientists come from all over the world to do tests on it because they can tell like dates and stuff because the layers don't mix. You can tell the agricultural activity, human activity and stuff. Yeah, beautiful day. Tons of snapping turtles and fish in here too. So they have a excellent food resource that doesn't get depleted because no one can fish here. Nobody can swim to pollute the lake. So I thought to myself, this has got to be a good spot for them to come. It's isolated at night. Lots of trails, connects to other conservation areas, and probably the cleanest water around here that you can have. Yeah, so this is where I was. Heard the coyotes in that direction, up by the car, going off. Then right over here, crashing to my left. And then that's when I said, I'm getting the hell out of here. Chickened out. I kind of wish I stayed now because that's kind of the point of it when you're here for activity, right? If I want to get some whoops or something on audio. I highly doubt if they know you have a camera, they're not going to come into view. So I wasn't expecting to capture anything on camera, but even like a scream or a whoop or something like that, something super obvious, would have been really good evidence. Yeah, it's very rocky in here because we're on top of the escarpment. It's all rocky cliffs. on the edge. Right now we're on top of it. So yeah, let's walk down a few other trails and see if we can find any tree structures. Actually, I want to go close to that creek over there where I thought I saw something that spooked me. Just down in there. It would make sense if they're down at a creek getting water at night. See if I can find a good spot to walk in. An open area. Actually, it looks like there's a trail on the other side of the creek. Or there's a blue jay. Where'd he go? Yeah, I think what caught my eye was maybe the white snow down there. There's a little bit of snow left. And maybe I thought that was something, I don't know. There's a creek. Or maybe it was something. I just saw that you got a creek there where I thought I saw something, and the creek connects right over to where I was by the lake there. And that's where I heard crashing. Again, this is impossible to prove, obviously, but I really feel like they're here. They've been sighted in the area. And just like a couple kilometers away at another conservation area is where I had a cloaking experience where I knew for sure something was there, but I couldn't see anything. It was clearly invisible, camouflaged or cloaked. And yeah, these all, like I said, all these conservation areas connect. So if they're over there, there's a pond. They're definitely going to be over here at a nicer lake. Now, whether they live here full time or just come here at night to hunt or fish, that's the question. But I don't doubt they're here. I found tree structures in here. Yeah, there's a lot of evidence. And like I said, what else would have been making those crashing sounds beside me right when the coyotes go off? That's unusual timing. Either huge coincidence or unusual timing. There's a couple trails here. We'll go to the right. That's where the lake is. This is cool. Eagle statues. That's really nice. That's a good carving. And with the babies. Huh. That is super cool. Oh, that's a red-shouldered hawk. Interesting. I thought it was an eagle. Squirrel. Yeah, it's thick in there. It's the perfect habitat for the Sasquatch. You got tons of different trees. Here's trail. Some workers. What is this? How's it going, guys? Hey, do you guys know when the boardwalk's supposed to be done?
I don't know.
Not sure?
I'm not sure, yeah. Maybe ask the boss.
Oh, okay.
Is he the guy?
The yellow?
The gear.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Thanks, man. How's it going, guys? You guys know when you're supposed to be done the boardwalk?
Probably not looking for June.
June and July, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How much is done so far? Like half, or?
Probably, yeah, probably close to half.
Yeah? Oh, nice.
A little bit on this side, a little bit on that side.
Oh, cool. All right, thanks. Oh, this is cool. Here's that snake statue that I saw through the trees. This is cool. This a rattlesnake? Oh no, Eastern milk snake. It's funny, you think Rattlesnake Point, the conservation area that connects to this, would be named that because of rattlesnakes at one point, but it's actually, and there are rattlesnakes in Ontario, but they named it that strictly because of the, if you look at it from a bird's eye view, the trail kind of wraps around like a snake. So, like an S. Just kind of strange, I thought. My whole life I thought it was because of the rattlesnakes. Why they named it that. Wish more people are comfortable with being on camera. Just be cool to film people when you're talking to them. But I get it. More statues. Yeah, I'm just looking for evidence, guys. Here's something very subtle. It could be anything, but it's a broken branch, probably about 6 feet high, just off the trail. What do we got here? Little bats. Bats are endangered. Little brown bat. Interesting. There's another area I could sit at on the bench here on another night investigation. I think I want a next night investigation I do here. I wanted to come so bad last night because it was a perfect night. There was no wind. It was about 0 degrees Celsius, so it wasn't super cold. And like I said, it's supposed to rain the next 5 days, but I was so tired. And to be honest, I was kind of afraid after thinking about those crashing noises right beside me, thinking about what else it could be, realizing it couldn't really be much else. Like I said, other animals are going to run from you if they see a human there. There's a trail system that connects to Crawford Lake. Wow. There's a lake over there. Yeah, I'll edit a lot of this out if I don't capture any tree structures or anything. Something dark over there. Yeah, and it was eerily quiet when I was here a few days ago at night. You could literally hear a pin drop. We'll take a look over this little hill, deeper in the forest. There's more rocks over there. Interesting. Yeah, I don't want to do whoops anymore or anything. I think it's best to just come here and have them and sit at one place and have them be curious and come into you. And I think if they know that you know that they're here, you won't get any activity. But if they're clueless that you know about them, they'll probably come in. So whooping is shit, that's going to give it away that you know they're here. A wood knock you can get away with sometimes. Maybe they're not at your exact location yet. They're, you know, a few kilometers away in the woods and they hear a wood knock and they think it's one of their friends or family. And so that you might get a wood knock back. But whooping and stuff, they can tell the difference between a human whoop and their whoops. Trust me, it's a huge difference. It's so much louder and bassier and you can feel it in your chest. At least when they whooped at us 50 times, my family and I, camping, we could feel it in our chest. And even when it spoke that one word, I could feel it in my chest. It was the most bassiest, deepest male voice I've ever heard in my life. I knew instantly, instinctively, it wasn't human. Or at least half human. If they're the Nephilim. Which I really am starting to believe they are. I've gone through all the theories, researched and explored them all. And to me, that's the one that makes the most sense so far. There's nice pine trees over here. They love the hiding in the pine trees. Yeah, this is a beautiful place. If I were them, I'd love to live here. So many different kinds of trees in here. There's another bench up there, yeah. Actually, it'd be kind of cool to come deep in here at night for night investigation. Just sit on a bench here in the middle of the forest. I think I'll do that my next one in a week or so. Like I said, it's supposed to rain the next 5 days here, so hopefully next week the weather will improve. And I can get out again. It sucks. I want to bring somebody with me now because I feel like they're here after hearing that crashing. But I also feel like they're more willing to approach you if you're alone. And yeah, it's dangerous, but actually I don't know if it's dangerous. Because every encounter I hear, I've listened to thousands over the last 10 years on YouTube and different podcasts. You never hear about them harming you. They come close, they scare you, they escort you out, but they never hurt you. They'll throw things near you, by you, but they always miss you. So I feel like it's just intimidation, trying to scare you out of their area. But I almost feel like if they are the Nephilim, they have a contract where they're not allowed to touch human. Probably because humans have domain over the earth, as it says in the Bible, over all other animals and stuff. Maybe that's why. Or maybe it's just they're in spirit form and they can't physically harm us. Just like ghosts, they can manipulate things sometimes in the physical world, but they can't actually hurt you. At least I don't believe. Nothing that I've ever seen. Just looking for like tree structures deep in the woods. Or any kind of like deer blind type tree structures or teepees, leaners. arches, breaks. Man, I love it here. It almost makes you wonder if they're not enough limit, if they are the original humans. Just think about it. They are perfectly designed for this planet. They can live in any climate and thrive without freezing to death or overheating. They can hunt and kill their own food without weapons and without a fire and eat it. And we have to live in a climate-controlled four walls. And maybe another reason they're so huge, if they're not the Nephilim, if they're just a natural other form of human hominid, is when you're out in nature all the time for thousands of years, you're breathing in oxygen in the forest. Things that are in the forest grow bigger. Because the more oxygen you get, the bigger you get. We're, like I said, we're inside four walls all day. Either at work in an office, and then you go home, you're inside four walls. Like 90% of our lives are spent indoors, probably, for most of us. And think about it, they're eating clean and healthy and organic from the earth, and we're eating all this processed crap. I guarantee you they don't get cancer. Unless it's just from chemtrails that they spray. I mean, the Sasquatch can't really avoid that either. But other than that, they're living pretty clean and healthy. It closes at 7 p.m. Got here at 5. Little squirrels and raccoons can be loud in the forest, especially at night when there's nothing around, everything's quiet. However, the sounds I heard were like loud snapping, nothing a small rodent or critter could make. And if it was a deer would take off when they see humans. They're not sticking around. See, even a black bear, same thing. They're not coming closer over the course of 15 minutes, moving closer and closer towards you. I first heard it on the other side of the lake. And then every few minutes I'd hear another snap and it would come closer. So nothing's doing that except a predator. And like I said, mountain lions are very rare here. And you wouldn't even hear a mountain lion, they're so stealthy. Oh shit, I forgot my coyote spray in the car. Should be okay though during the day. One thing I like about this dual camera mode where I got my face in it is I can see behind me in the video. So Scott Carpenter mentioned that in one of his videos. You'd put a camera on his back so he could film them behind you if they're watching you as you pass them. But this is cool. I don't need a second camera. I just put it in dual camera mode. Okay, we got 3 ways I can go. Mud in there. Looking for tracks. Alright, what does this say? Pine Ridge Trail, Woodland Trail, Bruce Side Trail. Woodland. I think down there is where I found those tree structures either last year or the year before. Let's go up here to the Pinewood Trail, or whatever it was called. So I feel like they like to hide in the pine trees. Oh, there's a blue jay. One of the only things that sucks about dual camera mode is it won't let you zoom in while you're recording a video. Or if it does, I haven't been able to figure it out yet. What a beautiful day. Not a chemtrail in the sky. 22 degrees. This is the warmest day we've had yet here in southern Ontario this year. A lot of cedar trees. Yeah, I've noticed the Sasquatch are in forests that have pine trees and cedar trees for whatever reason. I don't know if that's just a coincidence, but the 3 places I know they live for sure here in southern Ontario, there's lots of cedars and pine trees. There's a pine forest over there. Yeah, it's beautiful in here. This is good for the soul too, guys. Even despite Sasquatch, if you just getting out and going for a hike on a nice sunny day in the forest with fresh air, nothing beats it. What is that? I'm starting to think the only way you can get them on video or a picture is through thermal. It looks like I'm starting to see some like funny tree structures in there in that pine forest. Could just be deadfall, but just the way they're leaning is very suspect. I want to walk in there. I'm going to walk in there. There's nobody around. You're supposed to stay on the trails, but let's just go take a peek, see what we can see in there. Maybe this is where they'd be hiding during the day. Off trail in thick pine trees. Some blueberries here. Look at this. Pine trees in here. This is so cool. It's like you're in a whole other forest in here. Can't whistle very good. See a perfect spot to hide out and sleep during the day. Even the undergrowth is very thick. It's hard to, you could hide behind any of that brush on the ground if they're lying down sleeping. Alright, I'm not seeing anything obvious. Lots of motorcycles out today on this beautiful day. Along the edge of the escarpment too, there's lots of caves and crevices that they could hide in. All right, shortcut Pine Ridge Trail. Go that way or that way? I think this might loop around. So it's saying a shortcut. Keep going straight for a few minutes. Look at this muddy area for tracks. Pine trees in there. They're going to want to hang out in the outskirts of a conservation area during the daytime. Interesting. Away from hikers. Yeah, I'm not sure if it'd be better to hike through the forest at night during a night investigation or just stay in one spot by the lake and wait for them to come to you. There's no right or wrong answer, I don't think. You just try them both, I guess, which I have. I think probably staying in one spot might be the best way, but haven't confirmed that yet. This place is huge. Also, I prefer to investigate and hike and stuff during the fall and spring. A, because there's no bugs, or not as many, and B, you can see through the trees. So you can see deep in the woods if there's any tree structures or even a Sasquatch in there. Since it doesn't have the full foliage yet. I've never been down this trail. There's something down there. Again, this is way too long to put in a video. I gotta edit a lot of this out. Oh, this looks like possibly a cool lookout up ahead. This would be a good spot actually to come and pitch a tent. You're up high, it's open. You're on top of the ridge, you got valleys on both sides. This is so massive. What a view up here. Wow. This is heaven. They could be anywhere in here if they are here. Down on these pine trees here, no people, hikers are going in there. There's no trails. Where does this go to? I think you can turn around and go down a different trail. That's a nice spot here though. Scanning the forest for any movement. Be honest, my biggest fear the other night was the coyotes. If it was coyotes, I feared that more than the crashes that were coming beside me. Even if I knew it was a Sasquatch, I'm not worried about them harming me. They could, but I don't think so. That's the only reason I'm willing to go out here. If I thought there was a chance of that, I wouldn't even bother. They can feel your energy. Well, no one knows that for sure, but I think they can feel your energy and your intentions just like we can, but we've lost that ability somewhat. From years of living indoors and indoctrination and all the crap we eat. But basically it's your intuition. And aura. Maybe they can see our aura. Humans, we're only capable of seeing in a very small light frequency range. Same with our sound, our ears. So there's a lot of shit going on around us that we can't see or hear. Just going off trail for a second here. Seeing what I can see down here. Looks like there's another trail down there. Yeah, I would 100% live here if I were them. You know, I've said that a million times, but it's like heaven here. I don't want to do a wood knock. Yeah, of course, if they're here, they know I'm here. But like I said, there could be other ones off even further that just think it's their family or friends knocking. You might get a knock back. It's a cool pink stone. It's crazy because if they can cloak, they could be beside you at any time. If anyone's ever watched Swan Lake Bigfoot, I think he's out of Alberta, Canada. He's, I like him, he's a really good channel. He finds a lot of faces and stuff in the woods afterwards when reviewing it on his computer. He'll, like, you know, turn up the contrast or the brightness or whatever to be able to pick faces out. But, you know, a lot of that could be pareidolia, but he caught some really cool Sasquatch in the reflection of his sunglasses. And he obviously didn't see them. They were standing right in front of him. And there was 2 of them that he caught in his sunglasses after reviewing it. Which means they can cloak. Which means, or they're spiritual. That's why I don't think they're interdimensional. I know a lot of people do, and I always entertain that possibility, but if they can be right there, I think they're here all the time, we just can't see them. Either our eyes can't see them, unless our frequencies align somehow. Kind of like when you tune in a radio station, it's all fuzzy, but then when you get the knob perfect, all of a sudden you're tuned in, then you can see them. Same with ghosts. But I think they're here all the time, living amongst us. I just think we can't hear or see them 99.9% of the time, and every once in a while the veil is thin or your frequency's tuned in properly and you get a sighting. But if he's seeing them in his glasses, that means they're there. They're not in a different dimension. It means they're there with him, but he just couldn't see them. They're cloaked. And it wouldn't even be camouflage because they weren't like in the trees. They were standing like 5 feet away from him. So I don't think it's a camouflage thing. I think it's a cloaking ability. A frequency. I think they can manipulate their frequency by vibrating at a higher frequency that our eyes can't see. I know a lot of people have talked about that theory, but yeah, it's I believe that's very likely. Beautiful tall pines in there. There is a lot of wildlife, like I'm seeing squirrels and stuff all over the ground, so I don't think anything's here right now, at least in this area. Go that way, we'll go straight. Yeah, they may not even live here during the day, like I said. They could just travel here at night to go down to the lake and stuff. Well, yeah, I left a couple of those stories in my night investigation. I missed a couple things. And the one where I saw the 2 stars that I thought were conscious orbs in the sky, moving in unison, moving together at the exact same time. And about the height of a helicopter, not a star way up in the sky. I was walking my dog around 2 a.m. around my neighborhood, and I looked up, I saw them moving, and as soon as I looked up, they stopped. And I thought, that's weird. So I pulled out my camera, and as soon as I went to hit record, they disappeared. They both, like, it's like the lights just shut off. And I was like, okay, whatever that is conscious and aware of I was about to record them. Hey, buddy. Chipmunk. So, what the part I left out was, I circled around the block, just the route I take him every night, and I came back to that same point. I looked up in the sky, and the stars were back, or those 2 lights were back, orbs or whatever the hell they were, UFO. And again, I pulled out my phone. As soon as I hit record, they shut off. So it happened twice. So once could have been a coincidence. Twice, they're conscious. They can read my mind or knew a tiny little human on the ground, a little ant. They could see from way up there what I was about to do, or know what I was about to do. That's why I think you can't record these Sasquatch or aliens or UFOs or anything. It's like they're aware of what you're doing. Maybe you get lucky and hit lightning in a bottle. So that's why I still film, because you just never know. But I think for the most part, it's almost impossible. And especially if the Patty film comes out to be a hoax, and we haven't had another clear photo or video in 60 years, that would kind of confirm that theory that you can't get them on video. Maybe, like I said, maybe thermal. Because if they are there and we can't see them, they're still going to have a heat signature. Unless they're cold-blooded like a reptilian or something. No idea if I believe in that one or not, but hey, if friggin' Bigfoot are real, which I know they are, what else is possible, right? And UFOs, I know are real. I don't know if it's government technology or if it's actual, like, aliens. I do think aliens are demons. I think it's part of the Nephilim and the DNA manipulation they did to humans and animals and who knows what other hybrids they made. Maybe they made the aliens. Maybe they are the aliens, the Nephilim. And they're flying around in their spacecraft technologies in outer space and abducting people. And again, doing the same experiments that the Nephilim did, where they're manipulating DNA and impregnating women and stuff. All these witnesses that you hear that were abducted, you know, they say they put them on a table and had a bright light in their face and they were putting things up their nose and in their you-know-what. And then, you know, all the cow mutilations on farms and stuff that, who knows, it sounds like they're doing more DNA manipulation. So that to me would say that the aliens are probably the Nephilim and the fallen angels and are therefore demons. Now, the cloaking triangle UFO that I saw, who knows, maybe our government's in cahoots with the aliens and the secret government, and they gave us some of that technology. So it's hard to say, but I know what I saw, and it was like the size of a damn football field, moving completely silent. That's another part I left out, is there was no sound, no smoke, no exhaust, just smoothly glided over the trees at about 60 kilometers an hour. It's interesting, little pockets of this forest feel so different. So they're like their own little ecosystem. It's like there's multiple forests in this one forest. There was a couple other encounters I wanted to talk about when talking about my strange experiences I've had in my life. I'm trying to remember what it was. Ooh, big loud crash in there. That was something. That was either a deer or a bear. That was super freaking loud. Or a person. But I don't hear any voices or see anyone. Man, that was loud. Don't know if the phone picked it up because the audio on the phone isn't the greatest. I think also alcohol, guys, there's a reason they call it spirits. I think when you're in a state of weakness or low vibration, whether you're on drugs, you're depressed, you're drunk, I think spirits can possess you when you're in a state of low vibration. When I was a teenager, around 16 to 24 or whatever, I was partying a lot and drinking, going out to bars every night with my friends and getting drunk. And so one night I came home. I was still living at my parents' house. I was probably 18. And there's no way to prove this, but it's a really strange experience. I was lying in my bed and I was asleep, but at the same time awake, kind of. So I was drunk, and I remember sinking into the mattress. I was lying on my back, and I remember a sensation of I was literally falling through the mattress. And as that was happening, I heard a knock at the back door, and my bedroom was in the basement at that point. So I walked up the steps to the back door. There was knocking. I opened it, and there was a ghost. And as soon as I opened the door, the ghost, I don't remember what it looked like, but it was a spirit or a demon or something, and it punched me in the face. It's funny now, but at the time it wasn't, because that woke me up, and I woke up with a huge headache and feeling it. And this was right after I was sinking into the bed. And it was so real. Sometimes you have those dreams that are so real you remember the rest of your life. I was 18, I'm 50 now. I've never forgotten that dream, because I feel like spirits are trying to enter me. And then years later, like 10 years ago, I saw that movie called Get Out. If anyone's ever seen that, it's where that they bring that girl's boyfriend to meet her parents at at their cottage or whatever, and it's a bunch of rich people there, and they all bid on the highest bidder gets to kill him, I guess, to keep him. And the one guy was blind, and he wanted this her boyfriend for his eyes. I guess her father was a doctor or surgeon or whatever, and he had a room in the cottage where he would do surgeries on people, like take out his eyes. So anyways, and the mom was like a hypnotherapist or something, and in the movie she was talking to them, and she snapped her fingers and said sink or fall or something like that. And all of a sudden he started falling in like a dream state. His body was falling through like outer space, and that reminded me of exactly what was happening. I was sinking in my mattress, and he was falling, and he was wide awake, but he couldn't like control his body or do anything. And the people who make these movies in Hollywood, people that run the world, that are in charge of Hollywood and everything else, say it's called predictive programming. I'm sure most people know about that. So most of the stuff you see in the movies is actually what goes on in real life, but they can just say, oh, it's just entertainment. So yeah, obviously that's something I can't prove. Most people would be like, oh, you're just drunk. But like I said, I remember that dream 32 years later every day. Like, I'll never forget that, because that sensation was real. I was sinking in them. I don't even know how. I was like, maybe my spirit or soul was falling into a different realm, trapped for eternity, while a new spirit possessed my body. But luckily I woke up just in time. I don't know. Anyways, I thought it was worth mentioning. I have no way to prove, obviously, any of it. Could have just been a dream and I was drunk. But like I said, to this day, I remember it exactly to a T. I can feel it.
You're so scared. You think it was your fault? How do you feel now?
I can't move.
You can't move.
Why can't I move?
You're paralyzed. Just like that day when you did nothing. You did nothing. Now, sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
Some hikers. Some black hair. Interesting. Not sure what that is. Don't see any other hair around it. The Sasquatch hair. I would grab it, but I got nothing to put it in. I don't want to contaminate it. What's going, guys? Good. Good bike? Going for a walk? Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, beautiful day.
Yes.
Take care. Yeah, I can't wait to come back here next week and do a night investigation. I don't know, it's scary, but at the same time, it's like a thrill. It like makes you feel alive, knowing they're coming up to you and you're interacting, having an interaction with them. Not every time, obviously, but looks like a few leaners. Could be deadfall. That's the thing, it's so hard to tell deadfall from them sometimes when there's a lot of deadfall in the forest. It's got to be really obvious. But yeah, it's like a roller coaster or a scary movie. We know it's scary, but we still watch it. Or a car crash you can't turn away from. People might think I'm brave coming out here, but believe me, I'm scared. Scared to death when I'm here. I just guess my curiosity outweighs my fear. And I just figure life's short, man. We're all gonna go soon enough, wherever we go to. So why not take some risks and live a little, live life, see what else is out there. I think they can sense that even though I say I'm afraid, I'm still willing to come out here. So I think maybe they respect that. Or think this human's friggin' nuts. But I think that's why they don't do anything to me, because they respect me or know my intentions are good. I'm not here to harm them. I always announce that when I come in. I introduce myself and let them know I mean no harm and have no weapons. So I think that helps. So actually I got so many videos I want to make. I know the topic, I know the title. I got the idea in my head. It's just time. We get one day off a week, and yeah, it's hard finding the time to. It takes a lot of time to edit and make these videos. People will be surprised. The only wildlife I've seen so far today are chipmunks and squirrels, which is strange. In a big forest like this, you think you'd see more. Now that could be because the Sasquatch or predators are around, but alright, I gotta figure out where the hell I am. I gotta start heading back soon to the car. No idea what time it is, but it's gotta be getting close to 7. Woodland Trail, Escarpment Trail. They should have a sign that says parking lot. So I can't remember which trail I came in on. Or at least a sign that tells you where the lake is. Ridge. Oh wait. I think this is where I came, yeah, when I said I have 3 options. So I gotta go back behind me, I think. Yeah, it's easy to get turned around in the forest, guys, so always pay attention to the signs. And if you're at a place that has no signs, make sure you got a compass and know how to use it. Because your phones don't always get service, or the battery could die. How you doing? Good. Is the lake back that way? Towards the lake and the parking lot?
Yeah, but it's closed.
Oh, I know, but the trail though is okay, perfect. Thanks. Yeah, I was right. I'm surprised this place doesn't get more hikers here. Well, probably because the lake's closed, the boardwalk around it's closed. And it's the first nice day so far of the season, so and it's a Monday. Most people come on the weekends. Ooh, those leaners against a tree. So hard to say. Trying to remember where that teepee was that I found a year or two ago. I filmed it. It's in this video, but I should have remembered the trail it was on. I'm trying to remember another strange encounter I had in my life. So I did the Sasquatch, I did the UFOs, the orbs, or the one UFO, the triangle one. That drunk one. Pretty sure there was a couple more though. I don't know why my brain isn't working right now. I told the one about my sister and her kids and the addresses and their birth dates. That is like the most freakiest thing, actually. That one's unexplainable to me, other than there's a higher power at work. There's a creator, for sure. If anyone can explain that one, leave it in the comments. Because I sure as hell can't. It's hard when you see something dark deep in the woods. It could be like a Sasquatch, but it could also be like a tree stump. Should have brought binoculars. But even then, it's really hard to see through all the trees. Woodpecker. Man, I was thinking if Sasquatch can cloak, those poor deer don't stand a chance. I think that's unfair. Yeah, pay attention, guys. If you hear a barred owl at night, for whatever reason, there's like 16 species of owls in Ontario. But whenever there's Sasquatch around, they always imitate the barred owl. So learn that sound. Go on YouTube and check it out. It kind of sounds like, who cooks for you? Who cooks for you? Or like, woo 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 woo. That type of sound. If it's a higher decibel than a dove, because they have the same decibel level as a dove, then you know it's them and not an owl. Same with the coyotes. Pay attention to their calls and their yips, because they can imitate them almost perfectly, but every once in a while they'll mess up and they'll do it. You can tell it's like almost like a human voice. And we have George Morita. Rest in peace, George. You can have a seat, George, if you don't mind. Oh, back sore. It's nice they have these benches throughout the forest. You can take a break or just sit and chill for a few minutes. Enjoy the nature. Yeah, I think I'd like to sit right here during a night investigation. Right in the middle of the forest. It'd be pretty freaky. Hearing sounds behind you in every direction. All right, let's go. Oh, thank you, George. Thanks for the seat. Yeah, not much luck today, guys. I just wanted to, like I said, come down to the lake where I stood for my night investigation and see if I could see anything obvious, like tracks or broken limbs. But there's so many broken limbs in that area that it would be impossible to tell if it happened 5 nights ago or it happened a month ago, you know? Maybe we'll go down. It's up ahead. We'll go down one last time, since most people have already gone home. I don't think there's too many hikers left. The park closes soon. See if I can get, now that the workers are gone off the boardwalk too, they left. I can probably bushwhack a little bit into where I heard the sounds to see if I can see any tracks. What the fuck was that? You guys hear that? Sounds like humans screaming. I don't know, it's like, it must sound like a Canada goose, but not. And we're down by the lake. I don't know. Let's see if there's any Canada goose on the lake. That was loud. But like I said, the phones don't have the best audio. I got my audio recorder, but it's in the car. I don't usually bring it for a day hike. I probably should though. There's still a little bit of ice on the water. Yeah, it's probably just a goose. Did sound human though. It's really good carvings. This is where it would have been. There's those skids that lead over to where I was standing at the water. So whatever was crashing was right here. Just sort of like a wood knock over there. Where that voice was coming from, actually. Yeah, right in here. See, the ground is all rocky here on the trail. It's very hard to see. What the hell is that? Oh, this person. It's too hard to see if there's any tracks here. Hey guys. Beautiful day.
That's nice.
Yeah. I think we're supposed to get rain soon though.
Yeah, I'm watching the clouds
Yeah,
when we
yeah.
get back before it starts.
Yeah, it's gotten cloudy all of a sudden real quick. So it's going to rain the next half hour or less. Just kind of want to wait for them to leave a bit so I can walk in there. Interesting. Yeah, by the bats is where these bat statues is where they would have walked in. Let's go take a peek. Doubt you're gonna see any tracks in here. It's not very muddy at all. Although tomorrow it's gonna be muddy after the rain. So there was something crashing in here. You can see they put down makeshift skids for the workers to get around the lake there. Oh wow, clouds got super dark super fast. See how there's crashing all in here, and I was about, I don't know, maybe 50 feet over there at the lake. And it felt like it kept getting closer and closer. Or not felt like, it sounded like. A little muddier down here. Something was walking. Let's just go check this muddy area down here. Oh. Yeah, it's pretty watery and deep. It wouldn't really leave a track. The creek flows into there, into the lake. Be impossible to tell if there's a track in there. There's too much water. It sounded louder than even me snapping. Yeah, the only way to, if you're a skeptic, guys, or you're trying to find Sasquatch, you may get lucky during the daytime, but you really need to go out at night by yourself. I don't recommend going by yourself. You didn't hear that from me. Maybe with a friend. It's definitely safer with more than one person, but if you really want to encounter, put yourself in their environment around 3 a.m. Sit in the forest in the middle of the night. A forest that you've researched, and there's been a sighting or some tracks or tree structures or audio. Obviously, look online first. Look for Sasquatch sightings in your area, and then go on Google Earth and see if there's any waterways, creeks. They have a water source because they always follow the water. They're not going to be too far from water. So if that forest doesn't have a water, it's unlikely you're going to encounter one there. So make sure it has water, and then go there in the middle of the night. Bring an audio recorder, a good one. I recommend a Tascam or a Zoom. They're, you know, very budget friendly, but really good quality for the price. You can pick up a pin drop from quite a ways away. Thought that was a cockroach at first. That This carving, what the hell is that? Oh, black ash. Black ash. Oh, it's a beetle. It kills those trees, I think. So yeah, you really got to put yourself in their environment. Brain, if you can get a thermal camera, I got a cheap $500 one that plugs into my phone, and it's actually pretty good for the price because it's using the phone's camera. But I believe it's only accurate up to like 100 yards away, like maybe the length of a football field, which is still pretty good. But yeah, you can get into the thousands of dollars if you want to get a really good thermal camera or a thermal monocular, which I do want to get. The problem with plugging it into my phone is I have to turn off the video and then plug it in and open the app, and you can still record on it, but you're only going to catch thermal on recording unless you have two phones, and you can have your thermal in the one phone and use your camera on your second phone, or a camera if you have a camera. But yeah, the good thing about a monocular is the camera lights up your face too, so you're not very stealthy. How's it going? Hey guys. Big crash in there. Here's something over there. Yeah, those people are going down to the lake where I wanted to go, so we'll skip that for today. I don't think I would have found anything anyways, any footprints. So we'll come back next week and do a night investigation, do a part 2. I really feel like they were there. I know I've heard them crash before behind my campsite every single night for 5 years in a row. I know how loud their crashing is compared to an animal. And it was definitely loud. Actually, I'm just gonna go right up here. It's a really muddy area. See if we can find some tracks. Probably not though, there's a lot of humans walking here. But you never know. Yeah, I'm not seeing any toes. Just boots. It's hard to, a lot of them could be double steps, stepping on the same print twice. Yeah. Just the history of this place with the Indians. They always seem to be on Indian land, the Sasquatch. I don't know if they're somehow related to Indians. Old newspaper articles say they used to trade with the Indians and that they're a tribe of people. But they could also be the Nephilim and half human and half Nephilim and still be human. But a lot of the Native American Indians consider the Sasquatch a spiritual being, which makes sense with all the paranormal experiences I've had with them. And I know it was them and not a ghost or something else, because it's happened at the same spot we were whooped at 50 times. And the same spot they go behind our campsite every night. And where I've had cloaking experiences twice. And then I had another cloaking experience about 2 kilometers from here at another conservation area. Which is how I know they can cloak. Think about it, we're so many people don't believe in the spiritual or supernatural, but what are we? We're spiritual beings having a temporary physical experience. So if we're spiritual, why would you be so naive to think nothing else is spiritual? And again, our human eyes and ears can only see and hear in certain frequency ranges. We're very limited. All right, back to the car. Love this place. I used to come here as a kid. We did some school trips here to the lawn houses and stuff, and took a hike around the lake. And then just growing up, I would come here, you know, once or twice a year for a hike. It used to be free, now you got to pay to get in everywhere. Here I can understand they got to maintain the trails and the lawn houses and stuff, and so the places where they only have like trails in a forest, like, I don't think that's right. They're charging people now, things that used to be free. Actually, envy the Sasquatch. They get to live free. They don't have to go to work to a job every day. Their food is unlimited. They don't have stress of going to work and all that bullshit. They just live free on this earth. We're the only animals or hominids or whatever that pay to live on this earth. We're basically debt slaves. They used to make us slaves with chains, and then they realized they couldn't contain everybody. There's too many people, so they gave us the illusion of freedom and pretending that we have the choice of our own job and stuff, which we do, but they thought, oh, we'll just get taxes off everybody and have them work and make them think they're free. All right. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.
Turtle Island Sasquatch.